Welcome to Momversations on the Win-Win Women Network. We are so grateful for this platform and the behind the scenes friends making it all work smoothly so we women can gather to care, connect, and collaborate. Truly a win-win for us all. I'm your hostess, Reagan Barnes, a mom of 8 and founder of Mom of 8. We are a nonprofit organization that empowers you to elevate your mothering experience. Also joining us today is professional organizer Cindy Thomsen. She's right here in the room with us. Cindy is a mom of 3. And also joining us today is you, Mom. You are joining us, and we are so glad to have you both, Cindy, and you too. We welcome you into the Mom of 8 community, or Mom Unity, as we like to say. We are moms united in our passion to create a better world for our children, with our children, and through our children. Join us and become mom, a Mom Unity member. It's free on our website, momofeight.org. And when you join our Mom Unity, we'll send you a free digital copy of our Smile Journal, where you can keep track of what you learn from each of these Momversations and set goals to impact your personal achievement based on this educational program. So let's get this Momversation started. Here at Mom of 8, we answer the question, what do moms do? With this uplifting statement, moms raise up society. That's right, not just our own kids, but all of society, including ourselves. This acronym is jam-packed with the far-reaching impact of intentional mothers who strive to improve and progress in these areas of motherhood. We are not just chauffeurs and short order cooks. As we repeatedly do bedtime routine and load after load of laundry, it makes an impact that goes beyond our homes. Because as moms, we are uniquely positioned to influence society one-on-one as we take on this repetitive but loving work. It shapes our children and it shapes us too. And today, with our special guest, Cindy, we're going to focus on the atmosphere category of this acronym, the concept of homemaking and conscientiously creating home. Home is where the heart is. We just need to put the little bit of effort into this to make a difference in the kind of atmosphere that our family experiences. So we base this on the 5 senses, and today we'll focus on the sense of sight. So when my kids come home from school, or my husband comes home from work, or for me personally, when I'm hanging out at home, what kinds of visual scenery greets my kids or my husband or myself? What do they see? And how does this affect our atmosphere? Now, to be honest, my home suffers in this category. I don't necessarily get it all wrong, but I have a whole lot of ways that I need to progress. Our family there's so many of us, and we just have so much stuff, and it piles up. It's clutter here and clutter there. And I kind of think of the clutter piles as like demanding attention as far as making decisions. And that's why I just let them sit there, because I don't want to put that mental effort into deciding what to do with it, you know? And unfortunately, that means it becomes part of the decor, and it's not the loveliest form of decor. So I'm so glad to be having this conversation with you, Cindy. So let's start by having you tell us a little more about yourself and why you'll be a great resource for us on this topic.
Okay, well, I get where you're coming from. I have 13 brothers and sisters, so I get the big family chaos
aspect of that. If you grew up that way, so you said 13 siblings.
Yep.
My goodness.
Big families are a lot of fun, but they also bring a lot of clutter.
Yes.
So I have 3 children. I was a teacher before I was a mom. And 2 years ago, I started an organizing business.
Oh, wow. So yeah, if it's a business for you, then you probably do have a lot of tips and tricks and ways to help us make those decisions. And like I said, that's what those piles seem to be screaming for is, come on, just think about what to do with me and then do it. And I guess that's also part of what makes it hard when there is a big family is I don't feel like I can make all of those decisions for everything in that pile, right? It's sometimes it involves the other people having to make those decisions. So, all right, you brought some slides for us to look through. Should we go to that next slide?
Let's do this.
All right.
Okay, so these pictures may seem extreme in some cases, but what happens, you start piling and piling and the piles don't stop growing. But everything.
I heard a song once. It was a cutesy little kid song, and it was, things don't have wings. No, no, they don't. Things don't have wings. Things can't fly back to shelves all by themselves. And I was like, yes, that is true. The things will just stay there until we give them our wings, right? Our ability to put them back.
And unless you do something about it, it just doesn't ever go away.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of negative things that happen because of clutter. So let's see some of the downsides of clutter.
All right.
So even just the way these are written is making me chaos and clutter and just a lot of things that your health, allergies you can get from all the dust and all the things on there. Money, you can save money when you don't have clutter, because how many times have I had clients that have had to go buy something and repeat because they can't find it, or things get broken because they're in the bottom of the pile or things like that. So it definitely takes your money.
That's a good perspective and an interesting aspect that we don't always think of. In fact, I think some of us who are bordering on being hoarders, we might think that we're saving money by saving all that stuff. But I think you bring up a good point that if you can't find it, then that's not very useful that you have it.
Well, in time.
Yes.
How much time do you waste looking for things? Where is that? I left it. I thought I left it here. No, I thought it was here. And things, when they don't have a place, you're spending a lot of time looking for where they would be. So it's a lot of that. I don't know what else is on there.
It hinders creativity and productivity.
And I think just for me, like the stress and what I see when I come to clients' homes, and it's just, you just feel it, the weight on them of just having that mess. They won't invite people over. It's burdening. So that's, I think, is the big thing.
Yeah. And so mentally, it's you've got on there, it causes anxiety or depression. And like you've mentioned, it might keep you from inviting people that you love to come visit you. Yeah. I had an uncle like that, bless his heart. And that was a sad thing for us to have him. Like I remember we were traveling through where he lived and he wouldn't even let the little kids come through and use his potty. So.
Yep. So there's a quote that I love from Peter Walsh. Clutter is not just the stuff on your floor, it's anything that stands between you and the life you want to be living. So just take a minute and think about that, and how, what is your home saying about you and about your family, and how, what do you want it to be? Kind of think about what's your goal in getting your house organized and decluttered.
Yeah. And I think the point that he's saying is it's not even necessarily a tangible thing. It could be how we spend our time. We might be cluttering our time, or digitally, maybe we're filling our brains with clutter. So that is very interesting, and it keeps us from meeting our goals, living the life we want to be living.
Yeah.
So Cindy, up until recently, was the schedules and systems council mom for Mom of Eight. And one of the things that she taught us in that particular role was the idea of having a vision, and that's actually your first step is, and this quote relates to that. So being able to envision the life you want to be living, and then decluttering whatever is standing in the way of that. I think that's excellent. Should we move on to
Let's go.
the what to do about it? All right.
That's true. So here's just a few things that some things that will help just getting started. So the very first thing is don't try to tackle your entire house at once.
That would be overwhelming.
Even as a professional organizer, it takes us time to do big projects. So start small, start with a drawer or a closet or something little to get you started. And another thing, plan time. It's really important that you have enough time to do it. So a small drawer is probably going to take you a good hour to pull everything out. Closet maybe 3 or 4 hours.
That's helpful to hear, because when I hear you say start with a drawer, I'm thinking, oh, then I can just do it when I have 15 minutes. But if it's better to be realistic about how much time it will take to pull it all out, look at each individual item, make those mental decisions that tend to be, for me, one of the reasons I procrastinate in terms of organization. So that's a good thing to realize and hear from a professional, right? That actually plan enough time to do it.
I have a lot of clients. I'm surprised how long this does take a while to go through, sort through things. So, and make sure you put it on your calendar. How often do you schedule it in time for you? We schedule for kids' activities and other things going on, but that time to organize this or declutter that. So actually putting it on the calendar.
Yeah, that's great. As if you would a dentist appointment or something. Or if you were going to hire somebody like Cindy to come help you, you would put it on the calendar and give her that, or give yourself that necessary time.
So then the next step is the sorting, and this is what takes a long time. So first and foremost, make sure you have garbage bags ready. You'll be surprised what you'll be able to throw away. Anything expired, things that are broken, things that are, used.
Now, can I just be honest about, sometimes I come across something like that, and the reason I kept that broken thing was maybe it had a sentimental purpose or and I wasn't ready to let it go at that moment. How can I help myself get past that little mindset problem of, but this means something to me and I could just glue it or something, but instead of gluing it, I hide it in the drawer.
Well, one thing is to have a place for your projects. So your place that you can work on things. But yeah, sometimes it's hard to let go of those things that someone has given you or is sentimental, or, your kids made it. And so
I like that idea though of a drawer that isn't just a junk drawer, but is for projects, and then maybe scheduling that on the calendar.
Right.
Go work on the project drawer.
Right. It saves a lot of time doing that. So then you want to get bins. So usually about 4 bins.
What size would you say?
Depending on what you're doing. If you're doing a small drawer, you're going to need like smaller bins, but closet, you might want bigger bins. You could use laundry baskets. You could use your Amazon boxes, whatever you have. And then you want to sort, one is for donating, or if you have maybe you have someone you can hand down the clothes or things like that. So one would be for donating. One would be for recycling. And you have, of course, the trash, and then things that don't belong in that room. And you could do one for things you're going to fix, things that are, need mending, broken, whatever that you're going to take care of. You could have a bin for that as well. So those are the things kind of to separate. And then everything that's left is what we're going to put back in, if that makes sense, into whatever the drawer is. So we pull everything out of the space. Everything,
even the things that you do eventually want back in there, but you have a bin for that.
Right.
So it can ultimately be empty for that time frame. Okay.
So then you put them into, sort them by piles. So we show them the next slide?
Okay.
And then we'll go back. So this is just an example. On the left side, I've sorted by, here's all the shampoos, here's all the lotions, here's all the soaps. And then the next slide is where we put them afterwards. So
Should we go to that?
well, that's just the next picture.
Oh, the next picture on the same slide.
Yes.
Okay.
So what you're seeing is just kind of the process. So these are the ones we're keeping. We threw out, we got rid of all the other ones that were old or expired. And then we made organized piles so that we could see, okay, we have a lot of shampoos. We need a bigger bin, or we have a smaller. So then that helps us kind of sorting things through. So
Okay.
it's nice when you
Back
do like
to
your
the
kitchen,
list.
you do a pantry, you have a big table, you can sort by like dinner items or drinks or whatever it is. So kind of just sorting it by categories.
And
at
if
this
it
point.
doesn't fit in any of the categories, then that's what that other bin is for, right?
Mhm.
That you said doesn't really belong here.
Yeah.
You have to go find a different place for that.
We always have things that get stuffed in drawers and things that they don't belong in. So
Yeah.
you have to put them where they belong.
That's how my kids think they can clean up. They're like, if you're cleaning up a room, then you just have to make things disappear. It doesn't matter if you put them where they belong in their brains, you know?
Yes. So once everything's sorted, then the next step, that's number 4, is we're going to make a home for everything. And that's when you want to say, okay, I have this much of this and I have this space. And that's when we want to consider what kind of containers, what are we going to put it in? Is it going to go in a drawer? Is it going to go underneath something? So we want to measure and figure out what kind of containers you can put these items in. And you also, as you're considering, you want to create zones for different areas. So like in your kitchen, you might have a zone for breakfast items, or you might have a zone for snacks. So everything's kind of in one area, a couple shelves or things like that.
Okay.
Let's see. And then label. I can't say that enough. Once you organize things, make sure that everything's labeled so that your whole family can find things.
And how do you recommend people do the labeling? Like just masking tape with a marker, or what?
There's
what's the
lots
way
of
to that?
different label makers you can get. If you don't have a label maker, you can print off labels. You can make labels on Canva and print them off. I've
Ooh,
laminated
that's pretty.
labels. I've hot glued them on. You can tape them with packing tape would work really well. Just kind of gives it that laminated look. Even just handwriting, getting a permanent marker and writing on it is an option. So there's a lot of different methods for labeling. But
And what does that do for you labeling it? How does that contribute to your goal of decluttering?
well, it's assigning everything a home, and then it's letting everybody else in your home know where it goes. So, or where to find things. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Now, that's interesting to think about. It makes me remember a mom who I was just visiting her home, and she had toys in bins. It was very nicely organized. And she had pictures of what toys go in that bin. And likely that's because her children weren't of reading age yet, but it was still her way of labeling so that the kids would know, oh, this bin is for the Legos. This bin is for the Barbies.
Yeah, pictures is a great way. If you have a Cricut is a great way. You can make labels on there really easily.
Okay.
And you can make all kinds of pictures and really cute things for it.
Fun.
So, yeah. So that is labeling. And then the last step, if you're looking at your house and going, I don't even know where to start, that's when I say get help. That's when you need to call a professional organizer, or if you have a neighbor or family member that's a good organizer that could come and help you.
Your
Just
mom.
get you started. Yes.
Right. Hopefully in her years, she's figured out the whole organizing thing.
Yeah. So we just keep going, right? Keep
Yeah.
organizing. So you might ask why a professional organizer would help you. And they just have an added skill set. You're going to
Right.
be able to get things done more efficiently, and just using their knowledge and their
Well, I was noticing on your website that you said you're a member of like the Utah professional organizers and the national and stuff. And so that is a good indication that this is a skill that you've taken the time to gather those tips and tricks, and you probably enjoy it. That's probably another helpful thing about the getting help section of this is bring someone in who doesn't necessarily feel that overwhelmed. I mean, those before pictures that we had on the previous slide, that is what you work with. And you might have a small sense of overwhelm, but you also have a sense of hope that you can handle this, that you've done it before, that it is possible. And so you're helping to bring in that mindset.
And sometimes it's just, you just need a reboot, just fresh eyes that can come in and just help you get back to where it should be. And then you can work on maintaining it.
Yeah. Oh, maintaining. That's probably, like you mentioned, with the labels.
Yeah.
And
we go on. That's the next thing.
So, labeling is the next one.
So as these are some actual pictures from clients that I've done, and pantries, bathrooms, lots of fun things we can do as we organize and get it where everything has a home. I think that's the ultimate goal. So it's not on the floor everywhere. So
lovely. And next slide. All right.
So just a couple more tips. Once you get it organized and put away, the number one thing I think is to buy less, to be in control of what comes into your home.
Oh, like be the gatekeeper.
Yes.
No, don't let everything. And that is an additional aspect to where you said it saves you money to be organized, because you're going to be more conscientious when you're at the store, and you're not going to buy every single cutesy thing, even if it's on sale.
Which is hard because I'm a bargain shopper. I love a good deal, but it is, you have to know what am I going to do with this when I bring it home? Where is it going to go? So as we do have a lot, and our kids have a lot. And so trying to simplify what we have is going to help at home.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Another tip I have is having a donation bin in your home. And I actually put them in all of my kids' closets. So when they'd outgrow something, they would just put it in the bin. So we just had a box, but you can have a cute basket or whatever to match the decor, or a laundry basket, whatever, so that they know that's for things that don't fit anymore, because kids grow so quickly. And just having that, you can always do little mini decluttering of different areas, and then you have a place you can always put those things. So that's a helpful one. Creating drop zones. So when you come into the house, we're still working on this with my kids, but
oh, I'm glad you brought that up. That is really helpful for everyone to know. This is a gradual process, and especially when you're involving other people like children, you've just got to realize that it's going to take time. And
so where does the paperwork come when you bring papers, or the mail? Where does the mail get dropped when you come in? Creating a place for that. Where do the kids put their things when they come in from school? Just creating zones in your home for them. And when things come into the house will help with the clutter. Having a routine for putting things away. What do you do when the kids get all the toys out? Who cleans it up? Hopefully not you.
That's the goal, right? Mom is not the slave, nor the slave driver.
Correct.
She's, teaching the kids the skill of when you get something out, you put it away.
So just creating those routines, whether it's they have chores that they do, or you do a nightly 10 minutes a night, we put everything away. That's going to make a huge difference in getting it. So let's see, get your family involved. Don't do it yourself. Make sure that they all have a part in this. You can do a whole family decluttering day where they all help go through things. Another one I think is really important is having a schedule for your laundry. When are you going to do it? I like to do it once a week. I have one day, or in the summer the kids do it, or some people like to do one batch a day. They put one in before they go to work. It's finding out what works for you and then setting that schedule so that you have that planned out when you're going to do that. Because that's something I see a lot, is laundry is everywhere.
That's
and doesn't get taken care of.
Well, and it is another aspect that you don't realize takes time. That sometimes people wonder, we like to call motherhood a full-time job. And some people are kind of wondering, well, what a mom's going to do? Well, they're going to do laundry as part of that. And this organizing and the decluttering and setting up the systems, and then training the kids to do the systems. And so
a lot of that. And then making your bed every morning. I can't tell you how that just makes your home, your bedroom feel so much better and organized and clean. Just a simple make your bed. And then lastly, creating systems and a place for everything in your home so that the kids know where things are supposed to be put away. And then once you have the system set up, it's a lot easier to get things done quickly.
I love that. I do confess that I personally don't make my bed every morning. And yet my husband will make it. And I'm very grateful for that. And he doesn't ever make me feel bad that I didn't get around to it. But he's been working from home quite a bit these last couple of years. And I noticed that before he can get much done in terms of working in the bedroom, he needs that bed made. It just is better for his brain and the way that his brain works. And so that is something that I think is a lesson that I learned from him, is that his brain is going to be able to concentrate on work if the bed is made. So I love this. Okay. Well, I've listed on this slide where our viewers can find you. So you've got a website, helpmeorganize.net. And then on Instagram, it's at help.me.organize. And on Facebook, similar thing, but help.me.organize SLC. And I just think this is fantastic. Lots of, probably with Instagram, you probably have a chance to put out helpful tips and tricks, things like that. So if your home suffers like mine does with clutter and chaos and disorganization, or you're feeling overwhelmed because your items don't have a home or you can't find anything, your family might not know where to put things, or you don't have time to get your home back into a manageable place, go ahead and reach out to Cindy at Help Me Organize. And she'll come in and help you create those systems and zones for your entire household and help create that calm and orderly feeling, and that really does contribute to a more peaceful atmosphere and life. So, and you also mentioned virtual organizing briefly. So what would you say about helping with that? What would
virtual organizing can save you some money. You work with an organizer online.
Okay.
And they give you the tips and let you know like what kind of containers to get, and they give you assignments to work on, and then you do the work.
Okay. So they don't physically come, but they give you accountability for one thing, as well as the knowledge, but also, like you said, assignments.
And it's a smaller amount of time that you're with the organizer.
Okay. Okay. Well, great. All right. So as we've been hearing all this good information with Cindy, I want to encourage you, our viewing audience, to take a moment right now, write down some of these key points that have stuck out to you personally. Use the digital smile journal, or just a notebook, or even post your before and after pictures on the Facebook page, or what your goals are. We want to remember what we've learned from this Momversation and put it into practice so that it can have the impact in our lives like these set of gears. So writing it down is like that first gear, but it does lead to other movements in it. So let's do this. Let's activate our gears to make those far-reaching positive changes. Well, this half hour has gone by so fast. It's time to end our recording and start our live interaction with our viewers. If you've watched this as a recording, thank you for watching, but be sure to catch us live every Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific time so you can participate also in the second half hour, where we continue the conversation, or Momversation, directly with you unrecorded. We want to include you in this discussion, and that's how Win Win Women TV is unique. We care, we connect, we collaborate.